Hello, I am Garrett Godfrey, and welcome to the Crowdfunding Christian Music Podcast, where I'm working to connect artists with fans and fans with artists so that you can find and fund the music you love. This is episode 42, recorded Thursday, March 10th, 2016. Think of me as both your tour guide and filter, as we look at some current campaigns by Natalie Schlabs, St. Andrew's Hymns, Jesse and John Barnett, David Virgo, Hammock, Katy Kinard, and Steve Hindalong. I hope you enjoy the show and find something you can connect with and fund. So, before we get into the campaigns, I just want to remind you that we've got the timestamps for the specific campaigns in the show notes, and the links for all those campaigns will be there as well. If you back any of the campaigns, or even if you just want to help them spread the word, be sure to tweet about it, post it on Facebook, and mention it to your friends in real life. Maybe you mention this show too. If you want to send me feedback, email me, feedback@crowdfundingchristianmusic.com, or use Twitter. I'm @theotherccm. And stick around to the end to hear an apology. That's right, an apology. And pay attention and see if you catch the skinny challenge. On to the campaigns. First up tonight is Natalie Schlabs, a singer-songwriter in Nashville, Tennessee, with a country folk flavor. And here is a shout-out to Nick Flora for spreading the word about her campaign on Twitter. Thank you, Nick, for letting us know all about it. So, let's hear her talk about her Kickstarter campaign for her first full-length album on her campaign video.
You won't play on the, you won't have to fight the feeling thing.
Basically,
the intro just does a little walk down thing. So.
What about the
post bridge, whatever that is B minor.
I come from a musical family. My grandpa played guitar, my brothers played, and he taught them actually. My mom sang and my aunts sang and harmonized together, and I was always just immersed in it. I met you when I was 16. Had the prettiest brown eyes. They flickered like the city streets at night. I couldn't look away. So this album is all about change. I started writing about my grandpa's life, as well as my family on the other side. They're these family of farmers in West Texas, which is really, really difficult to do. And so I started writing about their faithfulness and their determination and their hard work and what that meant for me. It started out with Amarillo and with family, and it's kind of merged into more of my story and the change that I've had in recent years, from moving from Texas to Nashville, from getting married. The interesting thing about going through change is that you find out really what you believe and what's important. What was so great about the recording process is that it was done with friends. My husband played on it, friends that I've known since I've moved to Nashville. Even the producer I've known even before I moved to Nashville. And I was just so comfortable with the fact that he knew my style, he knew my direction. He didn't try to force anything or have his own agenda. So oftentimes an album is laying down instruments and getting all the music there first and then doing vocals at the end of it. But we started out with vocals and with a little bit of guitar. It just ended up being, okay, I'm gonna just sing and we'll build everything else around that. And then when everybody got in a room and we started playing and I started singing, it became its own thing. And that was a really unique approach, and I'm so glad that we did it. Midnight with no stars, your collarbone is pressed into my scars. The story's told, single breath of life used to think of writing and being an artist and pursuing songwriting as an individual quest, but I've since learned that it really takes a group effort, and it takes the support of people, the words of people, my experiences with my family, with my friends, and now I'm asking you to help me make this album happen.
She's got an earlier EP over at Bandcamp, so let's check out a little of it.
My grandpa tilled these lands with his brothers till he was 83. And he used to say it's all about not giving up on seed, 'cause it'll grow. Couldn't help but wonder on a wedding day, did you really see me?
Her campaign goal is $10,000, and she's halfway there with 76 backers and almost, well, just a little bit over $5,500. But there are only 5 days left. This campaign closes the morning of March 16th. For $10, you get a download of the self-titled EP and a shout-out. For $25, you get the download of the EP and a digital copy of the new album. For $50, you get the new CD and a download and a personalized thank you note. And then there are more reward levels available, including lyrics in calligraphy, food, recipes, dinner, and a house concert. Check it out. The links are in the show notes, but you're going to have to act fast on this one. And by the way, spread the word about it quickly. Next up are St. Andrew's Hymns out of Columbus, Georgia, with a Kickstarter campaign for a new album of hymns to be titled Sweet Comforter. Let's hear a bit on their campaign video.
St. Andrew's Hymns is really a group of 6, 7 of us that are great friends that have gone to church together for a number of years at St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church, and have enjoyed writing music together. We sing and worship together on Sunday mornings, but also for a number of years have started getting together and writing music and talking about what songs would work and trying to record a couple records.
I think it's a group of people who desires to help the church worship.
St. Andrew's Hymns is a group of people who have gotten together to write and record music for the sake of corporate worship, but also for the sake of individual worship.
More than anything, we love just playing together.
We are a group of musicians committed to the text of old hymns, and we have the desire to take some of those old hymns and to write new music to them.
I would define worship as our response to what God has done for us, and what God has done for us is a story. It's the story of the gospel, and we are part of that.
At its most simplest form, worship is any time that we turn our minds away from the physical, everyday things of our lives to the things of God, the character of God.
It's not something that happened a long time ago and is distant to us. It's very real and very present in our lives, and we have communication with our Father and with Christ, and worship is our response to the gospel.
Each one of us in our group have been drastically changed by the gospel, and we are so excited that we've been able to write these songs to help us worship our Heavenly Father.
The album is absolutely a worship album. You know, we pull text from the Gatsby hymnal. We pull text from the Trinity hymnal.
Arranging and putting new music to these texts for the church that become songs that the church really wants to use for worship is a really awesome thing.
Something to me that's very special about making music specifically for church use and church worship, and providing tools and a medium for church community to worship and expound the promises of God together.
I think it's incredible that there is art that's being birthed and coming about through the church.
Next album, I'm really excited to see which songs are going to be those songs for our congregation, for other congregations, for the church universal to worship. I'm really excited to see what that's going to be like.
This will be their second album and will have 12 songs. The campaign goal is $8,500, and they are over halfway there with 34 backers and almost $4,800 with 17 days to go. This campaign closes the morning of March 28th. They do have their first album, Safely Home, up on their website, available in download or CD. And I'm going to play a sample from the album Safely Home from their website.
I heard the voice of Jesus say, "Behold, I freely give the living water, thirsty one, stoop down and drink and live." I came to Jesus and I drank of that life-giving stream.
Now, for this campaign, $25 gets you an advanced download of the new album. $35 also adds in a copy on CD. For $50, you also get a CD of the first album, Safely Home, and there are more reward levels available, so be sure to check it out. The link will be in the show notes. Next up are Jesse and John Barnett from Missoula, Montana, with a Kickstarter campaign to record songs from the Olney hymnal. Let's hear a bit about who they are and what the Olney hymns are and what this project is all about.
Hi everybody, my name is Jesse Barnett, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Olney Hymns project. The Olney Hymns are a collection of over 300 hymns that were written by John Newton and William Cooper. These hymns were written in the 1700s for John Newton's church in Olney, England. Olney was a manufacturing town. Most of the population was fairly poor and fairly uneducated. John Newton is probably best known for writing the hymn Amazing Grace. He was also instrumental in abolishing slavery in England after being a slave ship captain in his earlier years. William Cooper, on the other hand, was a poet, maybe the most popular poet, English poet of his time, and they both ended up in Olney, England, as part of a small rural church. So they collaborated, basically. They started writing hymns for this church, and they would write a hymn almost every week that went along with the scripture that John Newton would be preaching on. Sort of in that same spirit, John Barnett and I began collaborating on a new project inspired by the Olney hymns. We've revisited a lot of these hymns, a lot of hymns that have really gone out of use, that haven't been sung, I don't think, by really anybody in a long time. And there's no melodies, there's no music that goes along with them. So what we've done is we've really delved into these lyrics and tried to create music and melodies that reflect the meaning behind the lyrics. The words that are written by these two men oftentimes are incredibly intense, filled with rich content, and emotionally rich at the same time. They're really fantastic lyrics, and we've had a great time just really exploring them, exploring their depths, and really trying to make something that does these words justice. So we started writing for these hymns about 1.5 years ago, and it took us a year or so to get to the point where we thought we had some really solid tunes to go with these songs that would do them justice.
Now their campaign goal is $10,000, and they're almost 20% there. They've got 36 backers and just a little over $1,855, and they've still got 3 weeks to go. This campaign closes April 1st. So for $15, you get a digital download of the album. For $25, you get the CD and the download. And then there are more reward levels available. So be sure to check it out. The links are in the show notes. Next up is David Virgo, a student over at Lee University in Cleveland, Tennessee, with a Kickstarter campaign for a worship EP. He's got a great write-up on his campaign that really explains his passion for worship and for writing worship songs. While he doesn't have any clips or samples on the campaign page, he did send me a link to a YouTube video for a Lee University chapel service that captures him leading worship. So let's check that out.
Trading your life for my offenses, for my redemption, you carried all the blame, and breaking the curse of our condition, perfection took our place.
Now his campaign goal is $2,800, and he's got 9 backers at a little over $1,900 right now. So he's over 65% there, and he's got another 3 weeks to go. This campaign closes April 1st. Now I will confess I am a bit confused by the wording of the reward levels, and I should have asked him for clarification about these before I covered it on the episode. I will use the, if you look on the page, you'll see on the right there's a little contact me. I'll use that to ask him for some clarification. But what he's got is $25 or more gets a link to pre-order the title track song. $50 gets a link to pre-order the EP. $125 gets a free copy of the EP. And then $200 is a free copy and a music video. So I guess, David, if you're listening, my confusion is the link to pre-order the title track. Is it after I paid $25 then I can pre-order, and is it, or is it just a download link for the track? Anyway, definitely check out the links in the show notes. Check out the campaign, and I'll put up any updates on the show notes if I get clarification from David after the episode. Next up are Hammock out of Nashville, Tennessee, with a pre-order campaign through Bandcamp for a new full-length album to be titled Everything and Nothing, releasing April 1st. Now Hammock are made up of Mark Bird and Andrew Thompson, who also had worked together way back in the day in the band The Common Children. They've got a full, lush, ambient texture of sound. It's very often described as cinematic, and occasionally they have lyrics. Let's listen to a bit of one of the tracks from this new project. Everything and Nothing. This title track is called Clarity. $15, you can pre-order the digital version of the album, including 4 exclusive bonus tracks. For $17 plus shipping, you can get the CD and that download. And then there are other options available for shirts and vinyl and lots of different colors. And of course, because this is Bandcamp, whatever you purchase, you'll also be able to download in FLAC, MP3, in multiple formats. You can also stream anything you've purchased through Bandcamp with their free smartphone apps, so they know your whole collection, and those are all just available for streaming when you purchase through Bandcamp. So be sure to check it out if you like ambient, just lush, beautiful music. The Hammock show notes will take you to this pre-order opportunity. Next up is Katy Kinard, a singer-songwriter in Nashville, Tennessee, with a Kickstarter campaign for a new album to be titled God of Fireflies. Let's hear her talk a little bit about this campaign in her campaign video.
Hey guys, thanks so much for being interested in my new CD, God of Fireflies, and this Kickstarter campaign, Release the Light. I don't know about you, but I am super ready for spring and summer and fireflies and every little beautiful, whimsical reminder of God's hope in new seasons and His light that flickers even when it's dark, like fireflies. As some of you guys know, I've funded all my past albums myself. This is my most ambitious album to date, and I'm still covering half the costs, but I wanted the chance to get to partner with you guys through Kickstarter, because whereas major labels spend about $30,000 to $1 million on their signed artists for a full-length CD, you can look that up, ASCAP and CD Baby and other organizations say that it takes about $15,000 to $20,000 for an independent artist to make a radio quality, high quality CD that is ready also to be pitched for movies or TV drama series or commercials. And I'm excited to share with you guys that this is the next phase for my music. I'm still going to be touring, still going to be doing what I love to do and feel called to do, so nothing's changing there. But as an example, many of you guys know that Walmart had one of my songs on hold last year. Now, the production quality wasn't quite there, and on this new album, it will be. My producer, Kenny Davis, most recently produced, wrote for, and played for the Rhett Walker Band, and he's really outdone himself on this album. He was personally referred to me by Nicole Nordeman's producer, and he really understands the kinds of artists that I admire. He put his heart and energy into every single song on this new CD. If it were up to me and my budget alone without this Kickstarter, I wouldn't be able to fund the kind of quality that's coming out of this new CD.
Now, she's got some previous albums on her website, so let's take a listen to a clip from that.
I'd like to say that I was smart enough to choose you when I did. I'd like to say that I was searching for you. It just makes sense that I'd be running on my way apart from you, unaware that you pursue. You came just like the riding shining knight on the horizon when you found me, when you found me. In every cave a deeper place to hide, and still you pulled me out unboundly when you found me.
Now, her campaign goal is $7,800, and she's 40% there with 32 backers, pledging almost $3,200 with 3 weeks still to go. This campaign closes April 1st. For $10, you get a digital version of the album For $20, you get a signed CD. For $25, you also get a download of one of her other 3 albums. For $35, you get that signed CD plus all 3 previous albums as downloads and an extra track. And then there are more reward levels, including Firefly jars, photos, paintings, earrings, and more. Be sure to check it out. The links are in the show notes. Next up is Steve Hindalong. So really, what can I say? This man is the lyricist and drummer percussionist for The Choir, a band I have loved since the mid-'80s. And he was deeply involved with At the Foot of the Cross series, the City on the Hill albums, and many more projects that I love. He'd put a solo project together almost 20 years ago called Skinny. It's this one right here. And let's hear him talk about his Kickstarter campaign for the new solo album to be titled The Warbler.
Hey guys, I'm in the studio and I've just started my solo record and I'm really excited about it. Today I brought all my tribal drums and I got my Rogers kit and I got my guild and I got some really good friends helping me. I'm a little nervous, but I'm really excited. I do have a lot of new songs that I've written, and every band has a drummer that wants to sing lead once in a while, and I'm no exception. And so I don't sing as good as Neil Young, or probably not as good as Derry Doherty from The Choir, but I do like to sing, and I'm going to offer this from my heart to you and starting a Kickstarter. And so I really appreciate your support. A lot of you have supported us for decades now, and I thank you with all my heart. It's going to be fun. I'm really excited about calling this record The Warbler because it's a very hopeful song, but kind of a problematic, troubled song. And because, life is challenging for all of us. So I hope that I can offer some authentic, honest songs. I've had plenty of trouble in my life and continue to, but I still have a lot of hope and faith and love. I hope that I can inspire you with my songs.
It's already 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock.
I'm really excited about the friends of mine that are going to play on the record, and I've got some very musical friends, so I'm lucky and blessed in that way. I've got my friend Mark Bird playing, and I got Matt Slocum playing cello, and a lot of just really, really good people that I'm very fortunate that I've got a lot of really musical friends. So many of you have carried my songs, our songs, in your hearts, some of you for decades. And we feel connected to you in that way. And I just appreciate your listening and supporting me after all these years. I'm so privileged and so happy to get to keep offering music. And I thank you with all my heart for listening still.
Knocking on wood. Lucky and blessed and life is good. Lucky and blessed, and life is good.
Now he also included a SoundCloud link to one of the songs from this new album called Oh Hey Jimmy A. So I'd like to play a little bit of that track.
It was New Mexico, on the roof of that RV, amazed how enlightened we are. The darkness surrendered to you and to me, under the spell of a zillion stars. Oh Jimmy A, oh hey Jimmy A, oh Jimmy A. Never mind my lungs, roll me one anyway. Oh
his campaign goal is $20,000, and he's 80% of the way there with 285 backers pledging almost $16,000. With 3 weeks still to go, this campaign closes April 1st. Now for $10, you get the digital download of the album. For $20, you get an autographed CD and that download and an early single. For $25, you get all of that plus the download of the first album, Skinny. And then there are more reward levels available, including a shirt, being listed in the liner notes, a personal thank you note, an hour-long phone call with Steve, a custom-written song, songwriting sessions, and more. And here is the Skinny Challenge. Be the first to email me, Facebook message me, or tweet me with a screenshot showing that you've backed the Steve Hindalong campaign, and I will mail you this still-sealed copy of the Skinny album. So how do you do it? Well, on a Windows machine, you can just click on the little Windows button, type in the word snip, choose the snip tool. It'll bring up a little box. You highlight what you want to take a screenshot of, you save that baby, or copy it, paste it into a message to me. And if you're the first one to message me with that, this is on its way to you. In the meantime, that's it for the campaigns this episode, but I would like to ask you to do something. If this is your first time watching or listening, please subscribe. iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, whatever. And if you've been with me on this podcast for a while, please accept my heartfelt apology for being radio silent for the past couple months. What started as taking off a Christmas Eve and then a New Year's Eve became several more weeks of not feeling well, 4 different travel trips for work, and so on. But I've heard from several of you that missed getting new episodes, and well, I'm back. And here's my feedback challenge. Please let me know if you've ever backed a campaign because you heard about it on this show. And if you liked the theme song at the beginning of the show, it's called Hypostatic Union. It's by a group out of South Africa called the X Structure. All their music right now is Name Your Price over at Bandcamp, so be sure to check them out. And keep coming back. There will be lots more campaigns covered soon, including the Bruised Hearts Review, October Wedding, Steve Bell, Shell. And in the meantime, you can email me feedback at crowdfundingchristianmusic.com, message me on Twitter at TheOtherCCM, or you can use the submission form over on the crowdfundingchristianmusic.com website, and it's got a little page where you can put in some info and hit submit, and I'll find out what you're saying. I'm Garrett Godfrey. I will see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.